Hello everybody, Happy New Year. I hope this finds you well. If you are a returning viewer, nice to cross paths with you again, or if this is the first time I've had the pleasure, nice to make your acquaintance. Today, I'm watching Schindler's List. I've steeled myself as much as humanly possible for this film. I've been studying movies for about a decade now, and I feel like I would be remiss as a cinema lover not to experience this often quoted film. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Directed by Steven Spielberg, if I'm not mistaken. Man.
Name?
A cacophony of trauma, uncertainty, and confusion. Oh. No. That is not Liam Neeson's. Talk about being casted against type.
Bring them over a round of drinks. Who shall I say they are from? You can say they are from me.
Some gravitas there. This editing and cinematography has me in a trance right now. There's so much care being taken with every frame.
2 days after the Lord fasted or choosing to wear the star.
Human nature. We do this to avoid that.
That's what they have done since thousands of years. It's what they do. They weather the storm.
But this storm is different. This is not the Romans. This storm is the SS.
F the SS, man. The rationalization of evil astounds me.
Yes, sir. Who is that man?
That's Oscar Schindler.
Oh. The eponymous Schindler. My interest has been piqued. Diabolical. They are diabolical with no shame.
They come into our house and tell us we don't live there anymore. It now belongs to a certain SS officer.
I only know what they tell.
An impossible situation, man.
What if I just took this thing off? What are they going to do about it?
They will shoot you. Why don't you stop looking?
Itzhak Stern. I'm looking for Itzhak Stern. There's a company you did the books for on Lipovitz Street. Made what? Pots and pans?
By law, I have to tell you, sir, I'm a Jew.
Well, I'm a German, so there we are.
Now that we got that out of the way.
I know nothing about enamelware. Do you?
I was just the accountant.
You could make other things, couldn't you? Field kits, mess kits, army contracts. Once the war ends, forget it. But for now, it's great. You can make a fortune, don't you think?
I think most people right now have other priorities.
Like what?
Are you calling him an opportunist?
You must have contacts in the Jewish business community working here.
It stands to reason.
They'd put up all the money. I do all the work. What if you don't mind my asking what you do?
It's a fair question.
See that it had a certain panache. That's what I'm good at. Not the work, not the work. The presentation.
So he's going to be a showman, the face of this endeavor. I like the light and dark on his face because we as the audience are unsure of his motivations. Sinister propaganda, man. History is a freaking doozy, to be sure. If you pull the camera back, this was not that long ago.
This is glass, it's not what I asked for.
What's the difference?
By the time it got there, because of the freezing cold, it broke. All 10,000 units.
This is not my problem.
This is not his fault.
This is not your problem.
This is not my problem.
The German army wants to find out where it came from. I'm going to make sure they find out.
Now it's your problem.
You be quiet.
Little peppering in some humor. You need it in a film with such gravity.
That's a nice shirt. Do you know where I can find a nice shirt like that?
It's illegal to buy or sell anything on the street. We don't do that. We're here to pray.
Yeah, get with the program. Get with the program.
How many?
We're going to need some other things too as things come up.
This won't be a problem.
From time to time.
All right. Unimaginable. I see why this movie is 3 hours long. It needs every nanosecond to convey the atrocity. She can't be more than 11 years old, which is highlighting the fact that the theory that evil is not born, it's nurtured. You're not born evil, but the matrix around you can shape you. He won't break bread. He won't take any shots with you because he feels him to be an opportunist. And that archetype does exist. Carpetbaggers, you might have heard of it.
An enamelware factory over at Lipova Street. Also, he's asking for 10 healthy women for the team. Bring your sister, okay?
How progressive, how modern. That fellow was ahead of his time. I like what this story structure is shaping up to be.
You'll have to leave the line now, then you'll get a blue card, the Blauschein. You say that you are an essential worker. I'll get these papers for you at Pankevich.
An essential worker? That kind of vernacular sounds familiar.
Not essential. I think you misunderstand the meaning of the word.
Stand over there. Move. Next.
I teach history and literature. I swear it's not essential.
History, literature, the backbone of our civilization. And they calling him immaterial. The audacity.
How many times have I told you? Your work is that you keep in your pocket at all times. How many times have I told you?
I'm a metal polisher.
Just in the nick of time. This movie got my anxiety up. It's got me stressing vicariously. Shout out Steven Spielberg. If he directed, I could be wrong. Schindler is looking for a particular type of secretary. All right, this isn't the video for puns. Strike that from the record.
100 gross from here for next Thursday. 900, no, make it 10.
The nefarious stamp of approval. I have a sneaking suspicion this movie is gonna rip me apart.
A good doctor, a forgiving priest, and a clever accountant. The first two, I've never had much use for. But the third... Just pretend, for Christ's sake. Is that all?
Going through the motions?
I'm trying to thank you. I'm saying I couldn't have done this without you. The usual thing would be to acknowledge my gratitude. It would also, by the way, be the courteous thing.
You got that clever accountant's wires crossed. He's unmoored.
Get out of here.
You can understand why this clever accountant is looking askance at Oskar Schindler, given the context, the nuance of the situation.
Be careful of the step, miss.
Mrs. Schindler, Madam.
His face. And there's the rub. Mrs. Schindler.
I won't soon forget the name Schindler here, I can tell you that. He built a bankrupt company into a major manufactory. And left with a steamer trunk.
That's a hell of a evolution.
There was always something missing. You can't create this thing. And it makes all the difference in the world between success and failure.
He heard the call of the void, a certain intangible.
Luck.
War.
War. Good God, y'all. What is it good for? I can't sing this movie's cinematography's praises enough.
Should I stay?
It's a beautiful city.
I mean, yeah, based off what that kind of eye contact he just made with that woman, you should stay.
It's up to you.
I sniff assignation in the future.
Promise me, Oscar, no two man or maitre d' will ever presume I'm anyone other than Mrs. Schindler. And I'll stay.
Oh, what does that signify? Cut to her on the train. What does this movie have in store for us? Namely, fidelity? Question mark.
I could try to read this, or I could eat my lunch while it's still hot. We're doing well.
Yes.
Better this month than last?
Yes.
Any reason to think next month will be worse?
The war could end.
Oh, Hitler's clock is ticking. The window is closing for that bastard.
There is a machinist outside who would like to thank you personally for giving him a job.
Mr. Lovenstein.
There's no time like the present to express gratitude, I suppose.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to work.
You're welcome. I'm sure you're doing a great job.
VSS beat me up. They would have killed me, but I'm essential to the war effort. Thanks to you.
Aw,
I work hard for you.
a sympathetic character if ever I've seen one.
To work hard for you. That's great. Thanks. God bless you, sir. All right. You're a good man.
Ooh, introducing the idea of Schindler's morality.
What's his use?
Very useful.
Come with me. I'm an essential worker. Essential worker? Yes.
These are ne'er-do-wells, nefarious.
I work for Oscar Schindler.
Danke, look at the snow. Look at the snow. Look at the snow.
Oh,
I lost a worker. Expect to be compensated.
File a grievance with the economic office.
pinch me and tell me that isn't so.
Not.
A big shot from the SS Budget and Construction Office came to lunch and he told us
Wait, that just rocked my world.
place in Reich economics was a treasonable idea.
To give us an introduction and an outro with such rapidity is jarring.
Oscar? He was a metal press operator. Quite skilled.
Oh man, that's heavy, which is par for the course for this movie, but I'm feeling vulnerable early. I mean, RIP to that essential machinist. He seemed to be such a ray of hope amidst this darkness.
He's on the list.
Well, let's find him.
Sorry, we can't have him. He's on the list. If he were an essential worker, he would
I'm
not be on
talking
the
to a
list.
clerk. What is your name?
Klaus Tauber.
My plant manager is somewhere on this train.
Oh,
With him on it, it'll disrupt production, and the armaments board will want to know why.
Is he on the list?
Yes, sir. It's
is this gonna be effective?
There's nothing I can do.
What is your name?
My name is Kunda. Hauptschaf hier, Kunda.
K-U-N.
And what's yours?
Yeah, Schindler can make his own list. Your list isn't the only game in town.
I can guarantee you, you'll both be in southern Russia before the end of the month. Good day.
Siberia, to be specific. Oh, please get him off. No Diddy, but get him off that train.
My apologies. Stop the train! Stop the train!
Get them all off the train, but the clever accountant is vital to this process. Whatever he's strategizing here.
I somehow left my work card at home. It was a mistake. I'm sorry, I'm stupid.
What if I got here 5 minutes later?
That's the significant question, man. And yeah, the accountant is just a drop in the bucket because the train continued nonetheless. And case in point, right here with this shot. This reminds me, I recently went to go see Jesse Eisenberg's A Real Pain, and they had a very grounding and heartbreaking scene of visiting a concentration camp. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend it. He and Kieran Culkin acted their collective arses off.
The elderly and infirm mostly.
Yeah, well, it's top down. I'm freezing.
I never know how to say his name, so I might butcher. Is this Ralph Fiennes? Ralph Fiennes?
The men in the barracks near the quarry.
Okay, this got better cameos than Saving Private Ryan, which I recently rewatched.
I'm opening for a job at my new villa. Which of you has domestic experience? Don't really want someone else's maid. All those annoying habits I have to undo.
Trying to get a tabula rasa.
What's your name?
Hughes.
What? I can't hear.
All right, we get it. It's rank in this ghetto. It's malodorous.
The entire foundation has to be torn down. If not, there will be at least a subsidence and then collapse.
You are an engineer?
Yes.
Nah, this is guesswork.
I'm a graduate of civil engineering from the University of Milan.
Oh, I'm educated Jew, like Karl Marx himself.
I don't know if she loves that comparison.
Unterscharführer.
Jawohl.
Shoot her.
Commandant, I'm only trying to do my job.
Yeah, I'm doing mine.
Don't. No, dude.
We're not going to have arguments with these people. Shoot her! Here, on my authority.
No, dude. No. No. I won't countenance this.
It will take more than that.
I'm sure you're right.
That's dastardly.
Take it down, re-pour it, rebuild it.
Callous is an understatement. That's unsettling, man. The engineer, I can't get over it. She said it's going to take more than that. That's profoundly bothersome and injecting me with a disquiet, which is the point, and it's effective. Oh, dude, I swear to God. Breaking up that nuclear family, and for what? For what? This is wickedness incarnate. I mean, you have to depict it in such raw, stark terms to appropriately communicate what truly transpired.
I can't go in the sewers. I told you I won't go in the sewers.
You can go. Yes, you can.
I won't go in the sewers.
Romance and chaos. Unthinkable. Tough pill to swallow, man. The son didn't know any better, man. Oh, this is incessant and uncompromising. Oh, man. Please have a plot twist here. Because the dreadfulness is just mounting at this point. This is stomach churning. And extermination is the only object, it's the only goal.
As good as that. Leave her. Give me one. Just let you drink your inside. On her. Line.
Women to the left.
Man, the depths of humanity is being rendered vividly right now. And it's almost too much to process. I am nonplussed. Yeah, this movie needs all 3 hours and then some, because this is unspeakable. And tragedy seems too mild a word to describe it. Man. I want nothing more than for his romantic counterpart to make it. She said she won't go through the sewers. Was that her that was in the... Surely not. No. These are some horrifying shots.
There is not enough room for you.
What are you talking about? We tried it before. There's more than enough room. I changed my mind. Oh, look at the space in there. Now look at me. You are just scared.
Fit the girl, not you.
Mama, I'm coming out.
Oh.
I'd rather you be here than who knows where.
The sacrifice. What do you mean you changed your mind? I understand dire circumstances, but that fills me with vitriol.
Mrs. Dresner?
Yes, a friend of my son's. Don't worry, I'll go quietly. I'll be no trouble.
No, get under the stairs. He'll be down searching soon. You'll be safe there. Hide under the stairs. I've searched the building. There's no one here.
Oh, shout out to the homie, man. And the only thing stopped her imminent demise was his familiarity with her. That's how tenuous things are.
Hello, Adam. Hello, Danka.
Okay. I understand it now.
I will put you in the good line.
Oh, puberty and hormones saved their lives. Ah. That is a brilliant screenwriting and cinematic choice to have the only color up to this point in the film be red on a little boy or girl. The color of passion and emotion and love. So detestable. This is remarkably detestable. But from a movie making standpoint, that's such a phenomenal choice. I mean, look at that. The humanity. Is that the only instance of color in this film? Because if so, that is excellence personified. Then the shift. Please let this little girl make it, man. I care for her so deeply. The situation calls for ingenuity. You pull out all the stops. Survival is the name of the game. If they find this little girl, I may have to pause this movie because my bandwidth will have been exceeded. Lord. Talk about being resourceful. These officers lulled them into a false sense of security in order them to get them to compromise themselves. And this bastard has the unmitigated gall to compose a theme song to this slaughter. Oh, I know they eventually wind up experiencing their comeuppance, justly, rightly so, but this nadir of humanity, this movie is captivating in its severity and its cinematic competence for eliciting emotion. Voldemort is out of pocket right now. Voldemort is out of pocket. And I get it. You have to employ arbitrary fear in order to maintain it in your absence, but witnessing this, arousing my distaste, an exceptional rendering of a villain.
Every day that goes by, I'm losing money. Every worker that is shot costs me money. I have to find somebody else.
We're going to be making so much money that none of this is going to matter.
It's bad business.
Priorities? Question mark?
Sherlock told me something else about you. That you know the meaning of the word gratitude. That it's not some vague thing with you like it is with others. You don't want anybody telling you what to do. I can understand all that, you know. I know you.
Yeah. Human impulse.
Look at me.
Oh.
Don't forget who you are working for now.
Startling level of intensity there. Because a part of them had to know that what they were doing was evil. And what they were subjecting not only their fellow humans and humanity, but their own consciousness, their soul. It may be the optimist of me, but I'm sure, even on an unconscious level, they knew that this was unforgivable kind of behavior.
I couldn't get you out of here.
Be all right.
Anyway, I'm here almost every week. Wednesdays usually. I look in on you, see how you're doing.
Red director, don't let things fall apart. I work too hard.
It's a kind gesture. There's a bond of mutual trust simmering and percolating right now.
Hinges, sir.
Make me a hinge.
Yes, sir.
A race against the clock.
Oh, that's very good.
Deft. AF.
I'm a bit confused, and perhaps you can help me. What I don't understand is that you've been working since, I think, what, about 6 this morning? Such a small pile of hinges.
That is cruel, man. To have him showcase that he was working slower than he's capable of, and now, no.
Oh, Christ.
Check the angle lever, maybe it's bad.
Harrowing. Harrowing.
Herr Commandant,
Let me see.
I beg to report, because the machine will be recalibrated this morning.
This is torture. agony.
Strange, huh?
A malfunction saved his life. Such anguish.
Thank you, Mook.
Everything's fucking fickle, man.
It's making hinges slowly.
So the man can turn out the hinge in less than a minute. Why the long story?
Is he still with us? Ooh. Such bravura in this filmmaking with that match cut. There's this theme of shadow, this light and darkness on every character. Exploring the nuances, the moral ambiguity, and the contrast of virtue that's being displayed. Shout out Steven Spielberg.
What can I do for you?
They say that no one dies here. They say your factory is a haven.
Little Schindler Sanctuary.
My parents are in Warsaw. They are older people. They are killing older people now in Warsaw. They bury them up in the forest. Look, I don't have any money.
Unpalatable.
I'm begging you. Please bring them here.
I don't do that.
My father is an importer, not a metal worker.
Such activities are illegal.
Started to get forced pay.
Ah.
Left him.
Try and I will have you arrested. I swear to God.
Oh. Punishing tears now, are we? And it was not unimportant that he was staring out the window and seeing his reflection a few seconds ago.
Great. What am I supposed to do about it? Bring everybody over? Is that what you think? Send them over to Schindler. Send them all. His place is a haven, didn't you know?
He's suffering from the pangs of guilt, the pricks of his conscience. And this movie's doing a good job of, getting us to analyze his inner conflict. The pros and the cons and the what have yous. This is a stimulating film.
Why do you drink that motor oil? Your liver's going to explode like a hand grenade.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Power is when we have every justification to kill, and we don't.
You think that's power?
Magnanimous actions. These are interesting, meaty philosophical concepts.
A man stole something, he's brought him before the Emperor, and the Emperor pardons him. This worthless man, he lets him go.
I think you are drunk.
That's power, Ammon.
He's making an overture to him here.
I pardon you.
All right, Schindler, is he reachable though? Is this going to be efficacious? Can you reach such a nefarious, pernicious character? Probably not though, right?
Ah! Do you know how much this saddle is worth? Do you know how much it costs? All right. All right.
Okay.
Stern, what the hell are you doing following me around?
Okay. He showed some restraint. So last night, drunk or not, what Schindler said to him has resonated. Slow motion is better than no motion. You can quote me on that. We're witnessing a core of humanity and compassion within the framework of his malicious deeds, which, there's the rub. Because he's such a fine actor. He's such a Ray Fine actor. Now, all right. Second and last pun. And so all of this, what's the word? Chiaroscuro? I don't know how to pronounce it. But, leading up to this, we've visually experienced the light and the dark, the shadows that's falling unevenly on everybody's faces. And so it prepared us emotionally and psychologically for Commandant's fractured emotional perspective and decision making.
You really are a wonderful cook, and it's getting lonely down here, listening to everyone upstairs having such a good...
It's lonely and cold, apparently. Who is she, Rachel from Friends? All right, lock in. It's inappropriate.
You're not a person in the strictest sense of the word, but they compare you to vermin and to rodents and to lice. No, you make a good point.
This soliloquy is stressing me out. I'm not gonna hold you. It's like he's questioning his own preconceived notions before our very eyes. Oh. She's hemorrhaging. It's like the movie said, not so fast. That's indeed one step forward, two steps back. And his psychology was like a pendulum swinging back and forth between, oh, am I really this monster or do I care? Oh, man. Such pathos being exhibited.
Go back to the barracks and return to the barracks.
Can't help but sympathize with their feeling of triumph. And the innocence and naivete of youth. Such a wild swing of emotions. Being happy that they didn't go, but it's a zero-sum game. They're absconding with their children. Savagery. Look what they have been reduced to.
Please, there is no room for you in here. Go away, quick.
Someone please find some room for my homie here. He's adopting any measure he can.
Get out. This is our place. Get out.
That's tough. Like literally fighting for survival. You haven't even hit puberty yet.
Why didn't you call me? I tried to call you. Quite a picnic, huh? I'm running a little late, you know. It's taking long on my fault.
I am feeling mad vulnerable right now at these sequences that are so potent.
Another beautiful day.
And the stuff of nightmares, phantasmagoric almost, if not for the accuracy of history, knowing that this is history, and not even 100 years ago, mind you.
Do you say we get your fire hoses and hose down the cars? Thank you. Indulge me.
I'll bring the fire hoses.
Where's the fire?
Where's the fire indeed? The fire is where you all are going to be living in. One can only hope in Hades for eternity.
Why reach the fire exit?
Barbaric.
We can reach the cars at the end.
Barbarism. These are like uncivilized human beings, but they are human beings. And it's like Carl Jung's shadow. It exists within everyone, but the object is to overpower the tendency to other people and subjugate them and dominate them.
What are you going to do?
You ran my business.
That's affecting.
I'm going home. I've done what I came here for. I've got more money than any man can spend in a lifetime.
I love this trajectory between these two equals. There's just a power dynamic, a wall, impenetrable wall between them because of circumstances.
This is all going to end. I was going to say we'll have a drink then.
I think I better have it now.
Please, man. I want them to have that drink. And this is intensifying our care for them because we saw him rejecting these drinks. And for him to accept it at this moment, trying to make plans for a non-existent future, but trying to remain hopeful. This movie is ripping my heart out. Okay, oh man, this movie is picking up steam emotionally, as it were.
Wolfrain, Vain, Wolfrain.
600.
Yeah, run it up, man.
You're buying and you're banging for each of these names. If you were still working for me, I'd expect you to talk me out of it. It's costing me a fortune.
The devil's in the details.
The list isn't absolute good. The list is life. All around its margins lies the gulf.
Priceless.
You'll be pleased with the level of efficiency I get from these workers.
This guy, man.
Woodson, under my command, was the envy of every other commandant in the labor camp system. The prisoners, however,
Excuse me.
they would have rather been somewhere else.
Yeah, quit your yapping, bro. You can miss me with all that BS. Inconsequential claptrap.
I know you've had a long journey, but it's only a short walk further to the factory.
Yeah, they're hydrating themselves with icicles, for Christ's sake.
He's waiting for you. Welcome to Brinlitz.
No one man should have all that power, but he does. So much fate. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if we can make it through this third act together. Dreadful. This is sheer dread.
They're in Auschwitz. The train was never routed here. A paperwork mistake.
Oh. A human life is subject to a clerical error. Trying to maintain their pride and their dignity when they're being debased. A heightened misdirection and subversion of one's expectation. Because, you know, is this the calm before the storm? It is Auschwitz, after all. This is fucked up, man.
Why do you think I can help you if I can't help IG Farm? Allow me to express the reason.
The eyes are the window to the soul. His eyes are framed in darkness, indicative of his spiritual condition right now. This is heartbreaking. And anyone with half of a soul and consciousness has to have a heartache at this point in this telling.
No doorman or maitre d' will ever mistake you again. I promise.
They could shut us down and send us back to Auschwitz.
Stan, if this factory ever produces a shell that can actually be fired, I'll be very unhappy.
He has his morals and he's taking a stand. It's a dangerous game to play, but you can commend him for it.
Rabbi.
Good, Herr Director.
What's the matter with you? You should be preparing for the Sabbath, shouldn't you?
This movie has such depth and complexity to it, and richness, considering the subject matter. Ooh, look at that. That's beautiful, man. Was a model of non-production. So in that respect, the mission was a success. Not from a business standpoint, but from a human standpoint.
General Jodl of unconditional surrender of all German land, sea, and air forces in Europe to the Allied Expeditionary Force.
I tell you, a momentous occasion.
The German war is therefore at an end.
The unconditional surrender of Germany has just been announced. The war is over. Tomorrow, you'll begin the process of looking for survivors of your families. In most cases, you won't find them. After 6 long years of murder,
Perilous, perilous.
we've survived. Many of you have come up to me and thanked me. Thank yourselves. Thank your fearless Stern and others among you who, worried about you, have faced death at every moment. I'm a member of the Nazi Party. I'm a munitions manufacturer.
For all intents and purposes.
I am a criminal. At midnight, you'll be free and I'll be hunted. I shall remain with you until 5 minutes after midnight, after which time...
Such selflessness.
And I hope you'll forgive me. I have to flee. I know you have received orders from our commandant, which he has received from his superiors to dispose of the population of this camp. Now would be the time to do it. Here they are. They're all here. This is your opportunity. Or you could leave and return to your families as men instead of murderers.
Homie was like, you ain't got to tell me twice.
In memory of the countless victims among your people, I ask us to observe 3 minutes of silence.
Countless. Just an appropriate way to put it. Because there can be no true accounting of the losses. Just a rough estimate.
Thank you, Mr. Open wide. Thank you, Mr. Yeah.
Oh. He's a profiteer. So disheartening with this turn of events and the nuance of it.
We've written a letter trying to explain things in case you were captured. Every worker has signed it.
So much warmth. How do you pay that debt you owe him? It's about the size of it.
It says whoever saves one life saves the world entire.
Yeah, pick it up, man. We need that artifact. So touching and affecting.
I could have got more. I could have got more. I don't know if I just...
Oh.
I could have got more.
Oscar, there are 1,100 people who are alive because of you.
You got that right, man.
If I'd made more money, threw away so much money.
I could have gotten more. The guilt, the confusion, the fear.
If I just...
There will be generations because of what you did.
Didn't do enough.
You did so much.
Untold family trees he just protected and enshrined.
10 people. 10 more people. There's 10 people. This is gold.
He did so much, but he is cognizant that it's not enough. The human lives lost, but, you know, he's only one person. He's only one person. It's such a tremendous turning of the tables and reshifting of the dynamic at one drop of the hat, one fell swoop. such a deplorable historical event, and to have painted this character in such a light. It's magnificent movie making.
You have been liberated by the Soviet army.
Don't expect any cheers from us.
Where should we go?
Don't go east. They hate you there. I wouldn't go west either, if I were you.
Where does that leave us?
We could use some food. Isn't that a town over there?
Such a fragile procession of people. Ah, golly, man. Freedom and liberation was the result, but the process was so daunting and challenging.
Heil Hitler.
And he gonna howl to his last breath. Get on up out of here, man. As you sow, so shall you reap. I want so much for this to be based on a true story. It's Schindler, that is. I want Schindler to actually exist. He planted a tree and there it remains, like the family trees he spawned by saving them. Oh, he actually existed? That's fantastic. These are the actual people. They endured the unendurable. A paradigm shift, to go through that and have to live and experience society after witnessing how low humanity can sink. Unfathomable. And these are the real world characters. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Truth is stranger than fiction. This was a turning point in history, right? Possible. To know that this is possible, that changes the rules of the game and the parameters of life and existence as humans collectively and individually. Because there was some societal recalibration after this. Oh man. This tore me apart. This is tearing me apart. Gone, but indubitably not forgotten. Steven Spielberg did direct it. Who wrote it? Steve Zillion. Oh, man. And it's based on a novel. That's a powerful movie. And I am still digesting the magnitude of it in real time. And it's mystifying because I know I have a working knowledge of World War II and Hitler and the Third Reich. So I understood the thrust, the gist of this film before watching it. But knowing that this was based on a true story, and it is through the lens of an actual living being, now deceased, but he actually existed, a character, this figure of history, is mind-boggling. And the execution of this film was nothing short of brilliant and scintillating, nothing short of it, because it's so immersive and brings you in direct involvement of this inhuman tragedy. Oskar Schindler was a German who had all of the benefits and to the victor go the spoils kind of advantage of this horrible event, the Holocaust. And to have that kind of character sacrifice himself in this capacity is inspiring, and it was heartbreaking to witness. Akin to being an abolitionist during slavery, the Reconstruction period. And, you know, it's like, you know how much you have to give up of yourself and to be objective about one's life, to throw away all of your sense of comfort and your safety because you recognize evil and will not stand by. You know the old saying of there are two kinds of evil in this world, those who do it and those who stand by and watch it being done without doing anything. He put his skin in the game, so he had something to lose. And you can see, and I love the choice to do it in black and white, and the only moments we see any modern color on this film is with the little girl in the little girl in the red coat. We see her from a distance, and she's engulfed in horrific crime at such a young, innocent, naive age. Just fresh from this world. She has not been long for this world, and she was not long for this world, if that makes sense. And what was the other time? The candle we saw, and then the connective tissue between the red in the coat and the brightness, the orange redness and the flame of love and passion and emotion and rage and fear. The color theory of the, you know, that hue red. And I don't know, man. To be on set, imagine being the actors and the film crew and the director and the screenwriter of the movie, because in order to create art, my understanding of artistic creation and writing, you have to open yourself up and become a part of it. It's a part of you. So yes, this was a movie. These were actors, but if you were Ray Fiennes and Liam Neeson, which they're at the top of their craft, man. I've never seen a bad performance from either of the aforementioned. I respect them and their ability to convey emotion and portray these characters. Like last week I watched The Grand Budapest Hotel, which is this and that film night and day. There's a vast ocean between Schindler's List and The Grand Budapest Hotel, but that's neither here nor there. And he was magnificent in that, and how he brought this character to life, and how the movie flirted with his redemption, the vacillating back and forth between being sympathetic and just exuding pure evil, and choosing the latter to his dying breath, as we witnessed, rightfully so. And then at the beginning, that's a nice touch of showing Oscar Schindler donning the SS officer pin, you know. And in so doing, it plants the idea in our minds that he is just going to be a villain like the rest of them. But no. There was subversion. It toyed with our expectation of the character. Same with the black and white choice to shoot this in. And often on characters' faces, we saw shadow and light. And that was really just opening up this world of duality. Humans being able to do evil. And these, the SS officers had families and, descendants. So what does that, what does that entail? What does that comprise? What does that consisted of? Norm Macdonald had a special, I don't know if y'all know who he is. He's a phenomenal, may he rest in peace, stand-up comedian and artist. And because Hitler had a dog, and, Hitler probably loved his dog. And it's just that complexity of humanity that we all exist as a human race, but seeing certain subsets forego their sense of unity and fraternity and this process of othering people, being ethnocentric and deeming other races, as it were, as inferior. That's what this leads to. And the light and the shadow on their faces really emphasize that. The juxtaposition of good and bad, you know, good and evil. And to see Oscar Schindler as a profiteer, he admitted to being a profiteer, and he was in a certain extent, but to a certain extent, and at the beginning, you saw him really understanding the gravity of the situation. Like, yes, he may have started out initially as just seeking money, but in the fullness of time, he proved to be virtuous and magnanimous. He could have just sat back in the wings and accrued many a dollar or whatever the German currency is, irrelevant. But no, he decided to step into the fray and let the chips fall where they may. Whew. I had some notes here. Let's see, what did I write down? Oh yeah, the engineer we saw at the beginning. And, you know, you have to establish the villainy of Commandant Ray Fiennes. Is that how you say his name? Voldemort. His character, you have to establish it. But the fact of him being accosted by that engineer saying, hey, there are structural problems in this, we're going to have to do A, B, C, and he agreeing, but shooting her just for the fact of her speaking out was, you know, that was completely perplexing and on brand for who we discovered he actually was. There wasn't a modicum of redemption to be had in his soul, even though that drunken conversation on the rooftop saying that anecdote about the emperor and one of its citizens stealing something being placed before the emperor and having the power to punish but not doing it, mercy. And we saw him exhibit that and like kind of flirt with it, but it was not to be. He gave in to his shadow self, like Carl Jung would say, and that existed within all of us. He was a human. We and the Commandant share a race, the human race, but that constant, eternal battle between good and evil is something to behold, man, I tell you. Then the engineer, then the one arm, that hurt. That hurt seeing, because all he wanted to do, he went into the office of Oscar Schindler and was like, I just wanted to express gratitude. And I like the motif of gratitude in this. And it was like kind of perverted when Commandant was using gratitude, but the way Schindler employed it was, you know, it was stupefying and at once uplifting, because all that that one-armed guy, machinist, he just wanted to express his thanks, like, hey, you're a good man. And you saw the effect those words had on Schindler. He was like, I'm a good man, but he was kind of feeling guilty, the pangs of guilt of being able to profit off of this, being able to make money off of other people's demise and suffering. And so, yeah. And then the hinge maker, that was a brutal scene as well, because the hinge maker would have been gone because the Commandant came back and he was like, okay, I've heard of your malingering. He was basically going at a slower rate than he was capable. And when forced to make a hinge in front of him, he was quick as lightning. And that only basically all but put the nails in his coffin. But the gun was jamming. He was that close. And imagine being him in that moment, the gun jamming 10, 20 times, and every click could have been your life, but it wasn't, and you survived it, man. No shortage of survivor's guilt. No shortage of survivor's guilt. Slavery and the Holocaust are stark examples of depravity. It's possible of materializing as quickly as the weather changes. But, you know, I'm an optimist, and I think I see the best in humanity, and we are better than these. We're better than our horrible past. We're better than history. We're better than, we're better than slavery. We're better than Hitler. and domination. You know, we can achieve more beneficial accomplishments. We can do better. I'm a firm believer in that. I have a deeply held conviction that this can be things left in the past and nothing can ever, as the saying goes, never again, can't transpire again. And to go from, Ray Fiennes has had a hell of a career, man. To go from Maid in Manhattan to Harry Potter, Voldemort, those in themselves are such disparate roles. To go from, you know, a love interest and a more or less rom-com to a magical villain in Harry Potter world to the Grand Budapest, plays this campy, lascivious character, which had some heart to him there, and then to this. My guy has a body of work to behold, man. Not to say nothing of Liam Neeson's Key and Peele. Y'all ever seen Key and Peele talking about Liam Neeson's? There's a through line there with appreciation of his character. But yeah, that's all I got for this video, man. I can surely I have to process this, because anything further would just be me trying to process in real time. And I think I have to mull this one over, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you for taking this journey with me. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe if I don't have the pleasure of your subscription already, and leave me a comment down below. Some of your favorite parts, your favorite Spielberg films, some fun facts. I'm a sucker for a fun fact and movie trivia. Can't get enough of it. Shout out to all my Patreon members over there on the Patreon, Mr. Valentine Reacts. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, and I mean it. Every time. I can't do this without you. Supporting the channel over there allows me the privilege of watching these movies with you all. There are different tiers over there. You can get early access, you can get full-length reactions, and you can choose movies for me to watch this month. And my patron members, my cinema for enthusiast tier and my juggernaut tier, you know, you all are on fire with these movie selections. You know, some bangers are being put up over there on the Patreon, which if you're interested, join, and they're exclusively over there. It might be for a while, for some indiscriminate period of time. I don't know when or if they're ever. I don't know when they'll be on YouTube, but you can watch them now on the Patreon, Mr. Valentine Reacts. A special shout out goes to my Prestige Worldwide members on the Patreon who are getting early access and full-length videos. Like with this video, I won't be able to upload all 3 hours to YouTube, but you can catch it on the Patreon. Thank you to Russian Paul, Owen, Robert M, Thistlefig, Jesse, Fizz-U, Dior, Dor, Carla, Benji, Jeremy, Saint C, Kikani, Morgan B, and Thomas Z. And for my Cinema for Enthusiasts tier, who select one movie for me to watch each month, thank you to Katie S and Eric C. And last, but positively not least, my juggernaut tier, thank you to Just Paul. All of you guys are crushing it in the movie selection department, and I look forward to more. But that was Schindler's List, and as always, until we meet again.